Good morning.
Hi Shahjad.
Hello. Oh,
How are
sorry.
you?
Good morning.
Good to see you, man.
ठीक है, recording started. एक
Yes.
पिक्चर वहां से चला गया. ठीक है, let's wait for another minute and 10:05. Let's start off. I think all the guests are here. Atul is here. Ankit is here. Arun, are you also here?
Let's wait for him. Couple of more minutes.
Arun is also here. ठीक है, let's wait for another minute and then let's get started.
Hey, hi Shahjad bhai.
Hi,
Good
hi.
morning.
Good
Hello everyone.
Hello. Good morning, Pooja.
Hey, hi Pooja. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Hi Shubham.
ठीक है, let's get started, guys. So, first of all, welcome you all to the session, and thanks for making it up Saturday morning. So I'll quickly, introduce the guests. I think all the guests are here. So I'll just first pin Atul. Atul, you can unmute yourself. And no, before everything, wait 1 second. Let me just give a walkthrough of Google Meet, because a lot of people said, it's the first time they're joining from the Google Meet. Yeah, give me a thumbs up if the screen is visible, guys. Yeah, perfect. So 1 second. So let's just say if you have any question or anything which is very, very urgent, press here. Automatically it'll send a symbol. Don't directly, please, unmute yourself and start speaking, because that will disturb the flow. Raise your hand here. You want to write something, please write it here. And if you want to see, most of the people on the screen, click on these 3 dots, click on adjust view, go to tile. By default, it will be 16. Make it to 49. You'll be able to see at least, 49 people on the screen. So majorly, this to see everybody, adjust view. I'll be asking, shall we go ahead? Give me a thumbs up from here. Don't do like this, because I'll not be able to see. That happens a lot of time. So come here and please press on this thumbs up. And once that is done, if you have any question, raise your hand here. Now, just to maintain the flow, there are 3 guests. Each will have 30 minutes. And then the last 30 minutes is for Q&A. So let's just say if Atul is speaking, Ankit is speaking, or Arun is speaking, let them finish their segment. You please write down your question, whatever you have. Last 30 minutes, we will keep exclusively for Q&A. And when you're asking question, don't give the context or the problem statement. Just ask what is the question. And same thing I'll request from the guest. Just directly give them the answer, because there'll be a lot of folks who might have questions. So considering the time of 30 minutes, we will just try to be very direct with each other. Yeah, that's it, guys. I'm Shahzad Khan. I'm the host for the day. So I'll just pin Atul. Atul, quick introduction about you, and followed by Ankit, and then Arun.
Thank you, Shahzad. Thank you so much for joining me here and everyone around. Good morning, folks. We all are here for the AE session organized by Shahzad, and it's a wonderful day that we have started. On Saturday, we all are here understanding what AE would learn, what AE would unlearn. People who are not AE, probably starting their career as SDR, I'm sure they would also be a part of this. Some of you would want to understand what a real demo would look like, how can be a successful champ in the AE side. We'll talk all about that. I'm Atul from Margin Sales. I have a 16 years plus experience in sales, leading a team, making sure that we provide best sales outreach in the market.
Thank you, Atul. Next, Ankit. Ankit, you can go next. You're on mute.
Yes, sorry about that. Hey, hi everyone. Good morning, all you beautiful people. A little bit about myself. So I'm Ankit, and I've been managing enterprise sales as of now for Freshworks across the India markets. I carry a total of 13 years of experience doing enterprise sales itself. I have been in AE from day one, you can say. So I have got a very little experience of SDR and BDM, but I really appreciate the kind of work they put in and sources with the pipe. But today we'll talk about some frameworks. We'll talk about especially in Freshworks, what are the best practices that we follow in enterprise sales? What are the qualification techniques? How we uncover the pain? How we quantify the pain to build urgency? So we'll talk more about it. I know a lot of people are trying to get into AE roles from this community, and there are people who have already been in AE and having a experience of 5 years, 10 years, and anything they can take up with them, improve their closing techniques. I'll be more than happy with that.
Perfect. Thank you, Ankit, for your introduction. Let's move on to Arun. Arun, if you can say something. Yeah, 1 second. I'm just pinning you for everybody. Yes, please go ahead.
Hey, hi Shazad. Thanks first of all for inviting me. I have a one slider which actually talks about my experience. I think that will probably sum it up. I have a quick PPT as well. So I hope you guys can see my screen, right?
Yes, it is visible.
So I started my career in 2011 with a bank called Barclays. I'm born and raised in Bombay. I worked in a bank. I felt in 2014 or 2013, I think I felt the need to switch my career into technology sales. I started my role back in time where there were no contact identification tools, to be honest. Organizations never knew what Lucia or what Mr. E or other contact identification softwares are. So we used to call on the board line and specifically dial numbers. And so I come from really old times where I've done the job of specifically picking up the phone, calling up prospects, setting up appointments for my senior leaders. And over a period of time, I worked with Mar Labs, Lead Squared. Shazad and I, we were at Lead Squared. In fact, Ankit also, we were in the same team. And I also happened to spend a good amount of time in the CRM industry with partners of Salesforce as well. At the moment, I'm actually leading the sales for one of the ventures of Inos, which is started by CP Gurnari, who's basically ex-CEO of Tech Mahindra. It's a CRM boutique, primarily does implementation of Salesforce, HubSpot, Zoho, and all of the services. My major of my experience lies in selling to India region, and in my initial times, I sold to US. So that's a quick overview about me. I think over to you, Shazad.
Thanks, Arun, for that brief introduction, guys. So I hope all of you guys are settled. Please switch on your camera. Let's see each other's lovely faces. Paisa nahi lagega usme. Yeah, so that even the guest stays motivated. And as I said, I think most of you guys have joined. Don't unmute yourself directly. If you have any question, please write it out and keep it handy. Last 30 minutes is for Q&A. Yeah, and the guests have taken a lot of time, energy, and resources, and their weekends and weekdays to prepare these slides. So probably I think we'll share this after the session. Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Let's get started. So let's get started in the same flow. Atul, will start with you.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
So you can go ahead and share your screen, and then
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shazad, and everyone here. I think we'll start with the screen a little later. Let's introduce ourselves and understand a bit more about the entire group that is here on the Saturday morning. I was like feeling a little off taking out 2 hours, man. I'll be spending on Saturday, and the only thing that get me going is a beautiful chance to meet everyone out here. Welcome to the modern AE playbook time that we are taking here. It'll be a 30 minutes session that I know for sure, and I'll be quick. We will quickly deep dive. I mean, that's the word that we have been using always, whether in the old times or in the modern times, but the process of presenting has always remained same. the session that we will kind of present, we'll talk about what makes a champ AE. There are two AEs within the same company, within the same team, and sometimes what happens, one always perform, and sometimes one always kind of struggle with time managing, and so many things. We have seen people around us every day. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about what a winning demo structure would look like. We'll talk about what are the discovery calls, what are different types of discovery call. There are different type of AEs, I'm sure here. There would be people from large enterprises. There are people from small startups as well. So we'll talk about what differences are there between the different demo types and so on. I mean, we'll take more questions. So quickly, I'll start with the screen share. Give me a minute, guys.
Perfect.
Let me know when it's visible.
Yes, it is visible.
We see a lot of win every day, win every demo. Every sales manager has heard it. Every AE has heard it from the senior. Now, when we talk about win every day, it's pretty clear, guys, that we, in our hearts, in our mind, we want to make sure that whatever demo that we are going after, we'll make that success. We'll make that as a champ. We win that deal. Now, everything said and done, this is a very simple task. You know, you start at 1, you end at 3, like 1, 2, 3. Had that been that simple, everyone would have been doing that. We all have gathered here to understand what are the ingredients that will make it success. We'll quickly talk about that. We'll talk about the playbook that I have been following for so many years. Knowing the customer more. Again, when I said knowing the customer more is a very short frame, but we will get to know each other better during this conversation. You'll get to know. So to start here, this conversation, I would like to understand how many of us are from the startup background. Please raise your
Guys, you can give a thumbs up, guys.
9. Wonderful. The counting is increasing. 11. Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. I mean, so there are a fair amount of people out here who are from the startup background. Guys, please be mindful of the fact that whether you're from the enterprise or from the startup, the demo structure would remain same. However, there are very basic differences based on whether you are an AE of a startup or whether you are an AE of a large enterprises. To quickly set the aspect right, the sales cycle for that matter, for a startup would be shorter sales cycle. For an AE, it's a longer, complex sales cycle involving a lot of stakeholders. Deal size. For a smaller startup, the deal size varies from $5,000 to up to $20,000. Same goes for prospecting. You know, in a startup segment, I've seen a lot of people self-prospecting, cold calling, LinkedIn outreach, research, everything. They do it on their own. In a larger enterprise, we are often supported by SDRs. We are often supported by channel partners, marketeers, or there's a different team that does the pipeline generation. Product maturity is the main factor. In most of the startups I've seen, people talk about their product, which is either in the MVP stage or it has like minimal structure. They're still building up the product, struggling with the product. Now, these are the things that we see often in the startup side, but on the enterprise, the product is robust, but to be able to kind of test out in the larger audience is the challenge. So these basic differences would always be there. Let's quickly dive into that. What makes every demo a winning demo? I'll quickly go back onto the slide and we'll take on to the next one. Basic. Guys, this is basic. So when you say what makes things different for say say any A doing things differently. Say, I'll give an example. A buyer from a cybersecurity company, they mentioned that, we have been burned by this problem, we have been burned by that problem. What happens? I've seen that in my team. I've seen that in other teams also, that we straight away get on the solution mode. That, what, you've been facing this problem with our product, the problem would not be there. Guys, my 2 cents here would be to, instead of answering that, ask more, take more questions, answer that resonates, that smile. Now, for the last 5 minutes, I have been continuously speaking. I'll give real examples. Right now, it's becoming boring for everyone out here because I have been continuously speaking. Same happens when we get on the demo call. Making sense? All right, so I'll invite Shehzad to answer me a question. We can be an A, just like asking a real problem, or we can be a smart A, asking smart questions. So if someone says that I have a certain problem, Shehzad, what do you think a smart A should do next?
Probably, what the problem the customer is saying will be a surface level problem. I think you should start probing, going, from the surface level to deeper level to understand not exactly what is the problem, but what is causing the problem. Again, don't ask me the question. I'll ruin the.
No, that's fine. I mean, that's fine. That's the purpose of this AE session. So with 16 to 19 years of experience, I can keep on talking for like hours and hours. But the purpose is to make sure that everyone gets what they're here for. Anyone who would want to answer, I would welcome that. That what a smart AE would do at this stage when they open a call. Anyone, any brave soul here?
Yeah, when they're talking about their sorry, this is Nasir here. When they're talking about their problems, we need to dig deeper and find out what is the root cause, where it is coming from.
Wonderful. That's nice. Anything else? Anyone wants to add up?
Yeah, hi, Atul Bhavani this side.
Hey, Bhavani, yeah.
Yes, yes. Whenever we sit in a demo with our customers, so we try to understand. We need to learn more about the customer's business and what kind of challenges they are facing. Then we can go dig deeper.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Every thing that you guys are saying is apt, is correct. Guys, please mute.
Yes, please don't unmute just like that unless the name is not called out. Yeah, please, Atul, go ahead.
Thank you. Now, if you see on the screen, there's one line that is bold, and that's talk about small habits. I'm not asking you to change a whole lot. I'm asking you to make small differences. Asking right questions would be one. Preparing for the demo would be one. Just be ready with rejection, with no, would be one. Making mindful changes. So we'll move on to the next slide. Will help you understand that what goes in small habits, how we do things differently, how we can prepare for a call. And mind it, guys, whether you're presenting for a small company or you're representing a large enterprise, the framework on the outer surface will always remain same. Now, how is simple. Let's see here. I'm sure you all have seen this, that every demo has these basic 4 things. And please do not read a lot on the screen because you guys will confuse what is first, second, and third demo. I'll explain to that. Let's stay on the first 4 parts. Start. You probe, you kind of understand the problem, and then you pitch your product, you give demo.
I think, Atul, we lost you. Is it my internet, guys?
Maybe yeah.
Full side.
Let's wait for it. Yeah, Atul, you're back, I guess. We had lost you for a second. Please continue.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry, guys, that I got disconnected, but again, this is also a part of my presentation. I am taking this call from a location which is not very familiar to mine. I'm not taking this call from a location wherein I was comfortable taking with, and we keep seeing the problem. Let me connect to the screen, guys. Give me 1 minute. Yeah. So we were at the initial first phases of any demo call, wherein we start, we probe, we demo, and we close. Guys, make sure that we do a warm start. How many of us believe in warm starting? I mean, I'm just asking a quick thumbs up. If any one of you feel that, if we not start warm and we just can kind of get out of bed, get out of a meeting and get on another meeting without bringing energy, we still will make success. Thank you so much, guys, for putting all these thumbs up. I mean, that is what will make a difference in terms of a normal A demo and doing things differently, bringing that smile on your face. I can see all faces here trying to understand. Guys, just try bringing smile, even while listening to this call. And that will make the difference. See yourself. I can see Ankit, I can see Nazir, I can see Poonam, I can see Manoj. I mean, everybody is thinking like they're here to learn something. But at the same time, bringing small changes in your would bring the difference. So when you start a demo call, make sure that you start very warm. You ask all relevant questions, and then you move on to the presentation. I mean, I would never want any one of you to kind of get on a presentation in like a minute of the call. You have to find out whether the person who has joined, like all of you has joined. Similarly, if there are 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, are they a researcher? Are they a decision maker? Are they end user? Are they an influencer? These are things. There have been cases in the large teams when we see in the initial framing, we see some sales guy, some procurement guy, joins on the call. We need to understand what is their role. In a startup, we often say that we meet a lot of people who are not decision makers, but they are influencer. Who can shortlist the solution, but they cannot sign. A researcher can gather information, but they cannot, again, sign. So we have to look for those clues. I have seen a lot of people talk about themselves the way I am doing right now. Guys, it's about the product. It's about how we solve the problem. So the purpose of demo, if I ask one real purpose of demo, anyone who can give me one real purpose of demo?
Yes,
Yep.
Manoj.
The real purpose of the demo is first to bring the customer, warm the customer to open up, and also help him relate with our capabilities, and also to ask why he thinks he has that problem, he or she has that problem, and help them relate with the context we have, so that it goes into a strong pipeline.
Wonderful, wonderful. Anyone who wants to add up?
Yeah, Manoj, you can go next.
Yeah. So as you said, basically it's to warm up. It's to tell him that to find out what he wants, and to also show him that we have some kind of solution, what he's looking for.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for adding that. Now, guys, what you have already said, just try imagining. Different people from different background, different companies, different industries altogether are on this call. Think of it. Whatever your service is, whatever your product is, if your purpose of demo is not to show your product or service, but to make sure that the buyer, it can be anyone, see themselves within your product, within your service. Till the time they would not see themselves using that product, till the time they would not vision themselves using that service. So the real purpose of a demo is to get and transform the user from just a listener to someone who can vision themselves in the product. So quickly moving on to the next one. Why these first, second, third demo? First, second, three demos are for startups. We have build story, give the context, close it. This can be like a 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever. Demo 2, when it is needed for a larger organization, when you have to make another call, another demo. Therein you build trust. You cannot ignore that. If you need to have like a third session, I've seen a couple of demos that go on for like 3 times, 4 times. Make sure that if you're not closing on the first 2, don't go beyond 3. The third one is to reinforce. And till 3, if it is not done, guys, it's time to move on, to learn more, to kind of, be a smart AE and think that right now may not be the right time. Let me get back, right? Be stringent. I mean, the framework that you see on the screen, this is a 30-minute framework, but this can vary. I mean, some companies would have like 45 minutes, 1 hour. Some have like 20 minutes, 15 minutes, quick 10 minutes demo call. I've seen that. The percentage of time that you devote should be like this of an ideal 30 minutes call. Never, ever exceed the product demo. The fourth point, the fourth part, wherein I've mentioned in a 30 minutes call, 8 to 10 minutes as a product demo. Guys, please do not exceed that. If you are not able to explain your product within 10 minutes in a 30 minutes call, I think we'll need to kind of relook the way we present our product to people. It is more about learning. I hope you all agree to the fact that we have heard about all these things. But, the moment we get on a call, we all start selling that, that we all start pitching. That's what we shouldn't be doing. We should be mindful. When I say 5 minutes of wrap up, now that's very important. In that, it's always about feature versus fit. Guys, I'll give an example. A product, an ACE. Today, I'll show you something, a great product. Today, I'll show you, say, for example, me saying, hey guys, I'll show you how to structure a demo today. It's a flat feature that I have pushed on your face. That I'll be showing some features of the demo. Rather, smart AE would say, hey guys, by the end of the session, you'll be conducting more successful demos. Never lose control of your call, and your pitch will change forever. You'll start closing more. You'll learn what buyers want. And guys, in the session, you will not go blank during your demos. This is like creating the fit. I hope I'm making sense. So guys, this is all that I wanted to say on to this, wherein you make your presentation, just don't push features. Fit yourself so that the people will remember you even after the call. Quickly moving on to the next slide. And Shahzad, thank you so much for the time. I think that's something that we all be mindful of. There are 3 level question funnels. Shahzad was talking about that. It's same. It's very simple. I'll not spend a lot of time explaining that because discovery is important. Someone has question?
Yeah, Muzammil will take the questions, in the last 30 minutes. Please continue with them.
Guys, I'm on a different screen altogether. As I said, this is not my regular setup, so I am not able to see your questions. But I'll quickly get back on the call. Discovery is important because if you skip it, you end up demoing something that you want to show, but probably the person doesn't want to, or it doesn't solve the buyer's problem. So when we ask and when we frame our questions, please do include this. Does this solve their problem? If your answer is no, you'll all will get. If you ask this question, you all will get to know whatever I'm making sense. So for example, right now, whatever I'm saying, is it helping someone? All the blank faces will tell you that it is not. It is going flat. But someone who is curious, someone who is involved, will definitely pick up clues and they will say, yes, it is making sense. And that's where we will go forward for. All right. So pain level is clear. Impact level is clear. when you walk through your demo like this, say, for example, when you walk through with questions, you get people to talk about. They let you know their problems. When you go on the pain level, that's where you connect, right? How many of you would feel that they are the best A in their field? Now, thank you so much, guys. This is what we are unearthing. This is what we are finding out. Whether someone is responding positively or not. Right now, with whatever I have said, it created a sense of doubt in even the bestest of the A's out here in the group. Guys, what? I mean, you are the best lot already. You know everything. And I can see some of you sleeping, right? Now that's the best part. On this group, when you guys are the best, please do not kind of judge yourself. Do not kind of doubt yourself, because you are there in the field to make sure that you understand the buyer. That's it. All right, there are 4 R's. I think everyone can quickly note that down. This is very basic, and this will help everyone out there. And why I'm saying 4R? Because it will remind you of the pain. It will help you create that aha moment every 3 minutes, every 5 minutes. It will help you show the key features. So whenever you, say, for example, when we say that on call, guys, while presenting, we say, hey, we can automate the entire dashboard. That will save you quick so many hours. We can help your team like that. These are all features that we are pushing on their face. So we need to remind ourselves whether are we reminding them of their pain or not? Are we revealing a feature that's something that they can resonate with? On this call, if I'm not able to help you guys push yourself, you'd learn, you would not kind of get anything out of this conversation or presentation. So remind, reveal, relate, and reconfirm. Guys, am I making sense till now?
Yes, very much.
Please drop a thumbs up if I'm making sense till now. That means now I got just 2 to 3 thumbs up. That means this presentation is not going the way it should go. And it's very clear. I would not mince my words. Guys, if your listener is not engaged, if your prospects are not engaged, that means you need to rework. So probably if I have to present again, I'll go back, listen to this recording, and we'll find out where I was doing wrong. This is my take to you guys. So 4R are for this. I have given you a small test also just now. How many of you are involved? And it is clear. That means I have to get back, have to learn more, unlearn something that we can present better on the next call. So guys, moving on to the next slide. Okay, so what happens when you align your demo, you're done with the demo, you have done the discovery, you have presented your points, now you have walked through the problem. After demo, never ask, what would you like me to do next? A smart way to question that give a close ending at the end of the demo. For example, if I have to say, I will say, let's bring your head of operations onto the call next week for a 30 minutes validation. So does Tuesday or Thursday work? Not only I'm kind of closing that loop, but also I'm giving a time. I can end like this also. Guys, the next logical step, Mr. Mehta, is a short tech fit session. Why don't you do one thing? Why don't you get your IT team on the call just to confirm the setup, sir? I mean, not to kind of understand again, but to confirm the setup. Will Friday work for you? How is Monday? I think Mondays will be busy. Let's keep it on Tuesday. You know, stuff like that. Make sure that you always book your next call while staying on the same call. Always. Rather than giving open answers or open path to kind of say no, to kind of say yes, or kind of, always give them clear direction that, you know what, let's bring your senior on the call. Let's bring this team on the call. Let's bring the decision maker on the call. And once you do that, you get a time that, what about Friday? What about Monday? What about Tuesday? What about 3 p.m., 4 p.m.? This will get you a clear yes or no. Because 70% of the demo that we have seen, we have kind of experienced, they go flat in terms of dead response, wherein, you keep following up and there is no response. So when you have this kind of clarity, you work like a champ, and you make it a practice that I will not end the demo till the time I do not get the next calendar while staying on the same demo. Making sense, guys? Can we move on to the next slide?
Yeah, please go. I think you're not able to see this. People are giving a lot of thumbs up. So yeah, please move on.
Sure. Again. Right, guys. Very quickly, what's the best time to send the recap? I personally always send a recap within the first 30 minutes of the call. Never have delayed it. Never. And what I've seen when I do that in 30 minutes, that if I keep doing that for a couple of times with the same prospect, I'll get a yes or a no. And that's very important for me, to not kind of waste my time and to not waste everyone's time. That expectation level to the manager that, hey, you know what, there is a pipeline, there's a deal in the pipeline, they're evaluating. This only happens when we have not followed that with a discipline. If you are sure to follow up within 30 minutes, and every time when you make the conversation, you're sure to follow up that on a disciplined basis, you will be for sure in the next 2 to 3 calls, get either yes or a no. So you would know what you're heading for. Make sure that you update everything in your CRM. I mean, I have the habit personally to update every little detail. Even someone says that, they're out of office for some meeting at some place. They mention a name of a hotel, they mention a name of a place. I write that down. I understand that this will make you work a little more, but if the client is important, if the deal is important, this will help you through always. Make sure that we update the follow-up, because what we forget is what is out of sight is out of mind. So if once we forget forever. How will you become a winning A? These are the things. These are self-explanatory things, guys. We always chase for decision. Someone said that, my purpose is to present the demo. Hey, presenting demo is a part of it, but chasing a yes or a no, learning from it, yes or a no, is what a champ AE will look forward for. So every AE faces rejection. Every AE faces no. All of you have once faced that. You all were a learning SDR. You all were learning associate. When you start, make sure that your struggle time is over. Now you're learning, you're fumbling, you're trying until you find your next rhythm is over, and next call is your best call. And if it is not, take that recording out, learn that. Take permission to record also. I mean, take recording out, learn more. In my understanding, every AE was once a SDR with big goals. Keep your goals big. And if you still have that, no one can stop you from being the champ. So in my opinion, if an ordinary AE would say, client ghosted me, a champ AE would say, maybe the timing was wrong. Let me re-engage in a few days. An ordinary AE may say that I got a no on the call. A champ AE will say, I learned where my demo missed relevance. A person who is still learning, an AE who is still learning would say, I got too many rejections. Champ AE will say, hey, I'm learning with every no. So guys, it's the decision that you're looking for. It's every rejection is your feedback. If you're consistent, you'll bring change. If you follow the process, it will lead to, it will kind of, lead to performance, not to the pressure. All right. Summarizing my call. These are the extras. Guys, I was wrong in terms of if I ever show you my screen is always blank. I mean, I'm not saying that you kind of delete everything from your desktop, but there is an option to create another desktop within Windows. Learn that. Make sure when you present your call, you do not have distraction on the background. You do not have all these pictures in the background. Keep it clean. You know what I failed here? When I changed my location, I did not check the internet bandwidth. These kind of things we should be aware of. And even the person like me, if they can face issues like these, there's no big deal. We learn, we understand, we move forward. This is important slide. I would want you guys to understand. Please use a clean tab. I've seen a lot of AEs presenting to me wherein they have a lot of tabs open, a lot of bookmark being shown on their screen. Man, this distracts me. I mean, if you've seen someone presenting their entire software and then suddenly on the left-hand side, you see a couple of their interaction, and rather than you focusing on the product, now your entire focus goes on their interaction. You know, what's happening on the corner, that sort of thing. Please use alternate desktop if it is not possible. Please use a mic. Please use all things that I've mentioned here. Avoid making all these mistakes. And guys, that was a little from me. I hope that you liked it. And if you guys want to connect, this is my LinkedIn URL screenshot. And have any question, we can take that up later. Hope I was not as boring as you guys expected me to be. Forgive me, I'm an old champ. I'm learning my days in the new times. I'm like 18, 19 years old, sales guy, man. I started my career in 2002. I'm still learning. I'm learning with the young people, a lot of vocab and new things. Hoping to learn a lot on this session. Over to Shahzad, over to everyone. Be the best in your field. All the best, guys.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Atul, for all those insights. I was also simultaneously making a lot of notes. Probably I'll share that, after the session. I saw a lot of people smiling and, giving thumbs up and, engaging. Probably you were not able to see, I guess, because you were using a different screen. So thank you so much, Atul. So anybody who has any question for Atul, please write it down. Towards the last 30 minutes, we will take up the questions. Yeah. So moving on to next, Ankit, we have here. Ankit, can you just say something so that I'll pin you?
Yeah, Shahzad.
Yeah, 1 second. I'm just pinning you here. Perfect. So over to you, Ankit. I'll start the timer, and next 30 minutes is completely yours. Guys, I know I myself say the session should be two-way, but looking at the number, if you can see in the Google Meet, it cannot be two-way. Obviously, it'll go forever. So keep it one way, Ankit. As I said, the last 30 minutes we will take up the Q&A. Over to you first.
Sure, Shahzad. So, hi everyone. As I already introduced, I'm Ankit and I lead the enterprise motion for Freshworks in India. Being a senior AE from last 13, 14 years, worked with organizations like Lead Squared, SAP, BeatRoute, and now my recent stint is Freshworks. Now, in this session, what you can expect in the session? So in this session, I'm not going to talk about the basics of it because I believe most of you are already AEs, and some of you who are trying to transition in AE roles would already have been able to learn about the basics of it. I appreciate Atul talking about the basics of how you should keep your slate clean when presenting to the customers, what should be your focus areas when you're talking to a customer in terms of doing the discovery and etc. So I'm not going too deep into the basic stuff. What I'm going to do is we'll talk more on the discovery and the qualification techniques that you can do, because I know everyone is answering their manager on a day-to-day basis or one-on-one calls that why this deal isn't pipeline or why this particular deal should not be in the pipeline, right? That is one of the dilemma that all of us face on a daily basis, right? So how to make sure that you have right deals so that your bandwidth, your time is utilized well. You chase only the deals which has a high chance of closing, and whatever other deals who doesn't require your focus area or doesn't require much of your bandwidth should go in the background, right? So we'll talk about that. Also, we'll talk about some of the techniques which I personally use a lot of times, which is how to quantify pain in the discovery itself, how to understand from where the customer is making money, how to improve that bottom line, and how your product specifically can help them improving that bottom line. I know this takes a lot of time in terms of practicing it day in, day out with a lot of customers to get to that level. But I think in this particular session, I'll be able to share a few tips that can help you go there, right? So without any further ado, I'll share my screen. I'm not a very presentation oriented person. I want to just, talk the real stuff that has been going on with me, my experiences, what I have learned in Freshworks, because just to let you know, Freshworks has been a very process-oriented kind of an organization in terms of how they train, how they enable their A's, BDMs, SDRs, and etc. So I got to learn a lot of things from the last 1.5 years that I've spent in Freshworks. So I'll just try to share that knowledge with all of you. Do let me know once you're able to see my screen.
Yes, it is.
Is it visible?
Yeah, it's coming. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So let me just start by explaining you that how generally a playbook should look like, and how winning demos can help you closing more deals with confidence. These are the points that we're gonna discuss. That how a playbook would look like, how to structure your demo, what should be the format of your demo, what should you include in your decks when you're presenting to a customer, what kind of best practices you can follow when you're probing or discovering the customer landscape in terms of their pain areas or the challenges that they're facing, and how you can deliver features on PPT, not typically features, but outcome-based discussions with your features, right? Okay, so let's get started. Let's get to the chase. That I hope everyone understands the stages of a sales process, because there are people from sales background, so you all know there are key stages that you follow when you interact with a customer. Your first mindset is to get into the discovery mode. Try and gather as much as information as possible so that you are prepared with what you want to show in the demo. Then once the demo is done, you align yourself and you find a solution fit, and then you go and map the stakeholders, decision makers, and try and close it. So I hope everyone is aware about this particular process in sales, right? In your CRM also, you must be having stages like discovery to solutioning to demo to alignment, closure, expansion, etc. So I'm not going to focus much on that. What I'm going to focus is that what is the objective of each particular stage. Now let's pick up discovery for that matter. The objective of a discovery is to uncover whatever pain points, whatever challenges, what are the stuff that is stopping the customer to improve their bottom line, what is the particular reason that the current incumbent, so there are a lot of situations wherein you find existing solutions being deployed on a lot of customers. So this is again the elephant in the room, because everyone wants to pitch in their solution, but they see that another incumbent is already been there. So in the discovery itself, how do you discover that what kind of challenges they are facing with that particular incumbent? There might be certain things that they're doing well, but there might be certain things that they're not doing well, right? So in the discovery, apart from understanding the landscape of the customer, you should also understand if there are any solutions that are being deployed, and if it is deployed, what they are doing well for them, what is the thing that they expect them to do well, and what are the things that they are not being able to achieve. So this will give you a point of view in terms of where your solution can fit in, whether you can go with the complete stack, or there are bits and pieces that you can go and deploy and land and expand in future, right? So this is one of the core aspect when you discover the landscape of a customer. I'm talking irrespective of the industry, irrespective of in what domain you're doing sales. So this is true to each and every aspect of the sales industry, right? Then comes your demo. So spend as much as time you can in the discovery. Do not bring your product in the discussion anywhere. Just try and understand the customer's landscape. Whatever the customer says, just pay attention to that. Try and reiterate a lot of things that can get you deeper. So discovery is like an onion. You start peeling it, You get to the core of it, and then you find that, where your proposition, your value proposition lies in the process. So that is one thing. Another thing is demo. Demo basically gives you a chance of showcasing that of what value your product is with respect to the pain points or with respect to the challenges that you discovered. Now, I would recommend one thing to all the AEs. I know a lot of you, when you land in a demo call, you start presenting each and every feature, although some of you might try to relate that what problem it solves, but there might be situation that those problems doesn't exist with the customer. So if you identified just 3 problems statements from the customer, only show the pieces of your product which actually solves only those 3 problems. Do not go into deep demo sessions wherein you present your product either through a PPT or a live demo for 30 minutes. And then you say that, okay, I have shown everything. So that is not how the things works in today's modern sales world. So just be specific onto the solution or to the instances of your demo which can solve that particular problem. Because the attention span in nowadays, you see, is very less. This is an age of Instagram. This is an age of YouTube and a lot of stuff wherein 15 seconds reel grabs attention, but a very good 30 minutes video doesn't get that much attention, right? So just imagine the prospect is having various vendors coming in, giving long presentations, talking about stuff that can improve their business and etc. So you don't want to get lost in that bucket, right? You have to create a niche of your own wherein you are taken as a particular company or a vendor who actually solves problem, who can generate impact, right? So that is number one. So number one thing in the demo. So discovery, demo. Third is alignment, wherein you understand who are the people who are gonna evaluate your solution, who are the people who are going to give you information, who are the people who are going to be your champion, who would be advocating about your product in front of the management and the actual decision makers. So this is something that you should understand as soon as possible in the pursuit. Otherwise, and again, a general challenge a lot of people would face in the AE community. You can give me a thumbs up if I'm correct. So a lot of times you start doing demos to the influencers or the lower level people, and you get comfortable with it because they're listening to you, they are asking questions to you, they are attending your calls, they are giving you time for face-to-face meetings, and you get comfortable with them. And you feel that I can close this deal just by, reaching out to this person and, giving all the information and making sure that he takes us to the decision maker one fine day. But generally that doesn't happen in 70-80% of the cases. In smaller segments, like SMBs or smaller pursuits, this can happen. That particular person can get you the deal closed, but when you are chasing $1 million opportunity, this will not happen, right? So it's always good that you navigate through the decision making hierarchy, which is called alignment. And once you do that, try and reach higher, try and call higher. Do not shy from picking up the phone and calling the CEO of the company. Build those skills and try and do that discussion on yourself. What will happen? 2 times, 3 times, you'll face rejection. You will be uncomfortable. But as soon as you get out of your comfort zone, as soon as you start being uncomfortable in the situations, that's where you start growing. So this is one mantra that I have learned from my mentors, that as soon as you get comfortable in what you're doing, your growth stops. So be as uncomfortable as possible. Try and call higher. Try and reach out to CEOs, MDs of the world. Try and meet them. Try and get the meeting out of them. The kind of learning curve that you'll have is compared to none. So that's where the alignment works. And then finally, the paperwork, the close process, and all those things you're aware of. Now, I'm going to talk about some frameworks which can actually help you to qualify the deals and disqualify the deals at the prima facie of it. So I don't know if someone have heard about MEDPIC, someone of you have been practicing it. But what MEDPIC generally means and why it's important to qualify the deals before you spend your time, energy, bandwidth, everything on that particular deal, right? So I'll just decode this for you. So metric means M means metrics. So whenever you are into a discovery call, having a discussion with the prospect, trying to understand the pain point, just trying to understand what are the metrics on which they are lagging. What are the metrics or KPIs that they want to improve on? Is it actually a KPI that matters to the business? So that is something that you should understand upfront. Second, as I told you, alignment is important. So getting to the economic buyer, E for economic buyer. Economic buyer is someone who's going to sign the check for you. Get to that person as soon as possible in the pursuit. Otherwise, the lower level people will keep playing with you and they'll not guide you towards the economic buyer or the decision maker, actual decision maker. Right? E for economic buyer. Again, D is for decision making criteria. Now, what is that criteria on the basis of which the customer is going to take a decision? That you should know upfront. If you're not able to get through this, do not qualify that deal and do not enter it into your pipe. Understand the decision-making criteria. Understand the decision-making process. That what is the process through which a particular customer would take you through to take the decision? Is that process under your control? Is that process under customer's control? Try and understand that upfront. I'll take questions on this. I know there might be a lot of questions around this. I'll take up questions at the end of the session, but just understand this. Getting to the metrics, getting to the economic buyer, understanding the decision-making criteria, understanding the decision-making process. P is basically for paperwork. You should also understand your paperwork. When you commit a deal, at times, why AEs miss their commits so often? This is something that the industry is, trying to understand. It's because a lot of times when you're chasing an enterprise customer or any customer of sizable revenue, the paperwork is something that takes a lot of time. There are agreements, MSAs, a lot of things. So understanding the paperwork process, generally how much time it takes to get the paperwork done, what kind of obstacles are there, when and where the legal team gets involved, right? So all those things you should know upfront. And then I is implicating the pain, wherein you're very clear about the pain point that you're going to solve. You're very clear about the impact that you'll be able to bring to the bottom line when it comes to solving that particular pain. So I is implicating pain or identifying pain, and C stands for champion. So champion is very important in a enterprise deal. Someone who can advocate for you, someone who can present your product internally to their stakeholders for you, who can talk good things about you, right, in front of the management. So that person is called an ally or a champion. So this is very important that you identify your champion in the deal at the very first stage, right? This basically helps you to disqualify deals better. This helps you to build a methodology of getting into every single customer discussion with the mindset of decision, whether a yes or a no. Atul rightly said, it's very important to get a yes or a no at the initial stages of the pursuit, right? Otherwise, you'll waste a lot of time. And as salespeople, we don't have that much time, wherein we just start chasing deals which are not going to close, right? Now, moving forward, now all basic stuff, but just recap I'll do. So how I structure my demo personally. So generally, my SD team sets up a 30 to 40 minutes or 55 minutes of session with the prospect and try and engage them with that. So it's very important that how you set the recap or the context of that particular call when you get started. So in the first 5 minutes, if there are discussions that were done by our SD team or by you yourself, you're sourcing that particular opportunity or the lead, it's very important that you set up the recap, that what you know already, what has been discussed already. That particular thing sets the tone for the session, right? Once you do that, then you can go ahead and talk about the objectives that you're going to achieve for that particular session. It can be a demo session, it can be a detailed discovery session, or a tech discovery session. You set up the objectives, that what we're going to achieve. After this 30 minutes or 45 minutes, what you'll take up with you, right? What would be the next steps if we agree on those specific next steps? So that's what you need to do on setting up the recap of the context. Then comes the live demo. Very focused demo of 15 minutes, 20 minutes is more than enough. Only focus on the prospect's pain points in your demo. As I earlier said, it's not important that you show each and every feature of your product to the prospect, because you can get lost in the world of uh, softwares and vendors and etc. So it's always important that you be focused only on the pain points that you have been able to discover. If you have not been able to discover a pain point and still you're showing a feature, it not find the relevance to the customer that it should, right? So it's always important that you be focused on only the pain points that you've been able to discover, and just show the pieces of the product which means business to that particular prospect. How you align yourself towards the ROI discussion, etc. Now it's also important to give a fair bit of idea on the pricing of your tool, because a lot of times you keep on discussing things with the prospect, but at the end of it you find out that they don't have budgets, or there's no enough budget that can fund your project, right? So it's always important that you give them an idea that this is what would cost them, and if they are paying this much money, what they can expect in return. Now, how do you establish this particular social proof, right? So there can be a lot of case studies, a lot of benchmark reports that your organization has. If you've worked with similar kind of prospects in the same industry, what was the value that you delivered? You're selling a vision. Remember, an AE does new business, acquires new customers. An AE doesn't have anything to show on that particular customer that what they'll improve. It's only the vision that you're selling. So if you're selling the vision, sell it with social proof. Sell it with people who have already experienced it, who have already been able to get that ROI. So it's important that you tie the budgets with the ROI that they're going to get. How to do that, I'll talk about it in the later slides, that how to quantify the pain and get an ROI out of it. We'll talk about it. But yeah, it's important to make sure that you're aligned with the return on investment that the customer should get. If the customer is paying you $10,000 per month or $120,000 per year, then what's the value that your product can reciprocate for that particular customer, which can help him get an approval on your project with the CEO or the CIO. That is important. Unless you show that, it's very difficult that the CEO or the CIO can give you money from his budget, right? Again, next steps, Atul enforced a lot of give emphasis a lot of emphasis on the next steps. So it's very important. In fact, when you're on that session, when you're on that call, keep 5 minutes segment just to outline the next steps, just to summarize what you did and what can be the potential next steps. Do not leave the call without setting up next steps, whether it's next meeting, whether it's connecting with their stakeholders like the decision makers and etc. Whatever it is, set up clear expectations, set up clear next steps. Also, one more thing that I was not able to include in this slide, if possible, create a mutual action plan as well with the prospect. If you have qualified it, if the metric that we discussed in the previous slide gives you a qualification of that particular deal, create a mutual action plan. Create a realistic timeline for each and everything. That what are the steps involved in the sales process? What are the steps that you're expecting from the prospect? Right? When we should be doing those sessions? If it's a custom demo, if it's a POC, just define clear timelines at a high level and try and get a sign off from that prospect. This will make them accountable. If they are really serious, they'll be accountable for all those steps. So this is a very, very good technique which I learned of creating from my peers, that they create mutual action plan, try and follow up based on that mutual action plan. Otherwise, generally how AEs follow up, after doing a demo, they'll just call the prospect and say, sir, just wanted to check what we can do next. When can we have next meeting? Right? So these kind of follow-ups doesn't add value to the conversation or the pursuit. If you have a pinpointed discussion, we are on POC stage, half of the POC is about to complete and half of the POC is pending. Are you confident of completing it in the next 6 months or 6 days or 7 days? So if they say yes, that's where you start, planning for the next step. So that kind of follow-up means a lot of value in pursuit, especially in the enterprise cases. Demo format. Yeah.
Just a heads up, last 8 minutes. Huh?
Last 8 minutes. I'll just try to complete. How the demo format of the PPT or the live product would look like. So it can be a hybrid approach, whatever suits your cause. Just remember one thing, that the ratio should be optimal. 70% of the talking has to be done by the prospect, and 30% or 20% of the talking you can do. The ratio can be PPT plus live product demo. If you have ready instances, you can do a live product demo only for the problem statements that you have been able to discover. Right? Always lead by why rather than how. Why always leads to your solution. You can map your solution with the problem statement. With how, you'll only be able to focus on the features. So do not. I personally recommend not to do that. Now, basis on your organization's structure, how you should prepare your presentation. So,
Ankit, sorry to bother you. I know the community. I would request you to spend a lot of time in that. Go back, please.
Yeah.
I would request you to spend some time in this particular slide for sure.
Sure. Okay. So typically, I recommend not to have more than 5 to 7 key slides whenever you're going into a demo or a presentation, right? And start with a clear agenda, with a clear outline of the presentation, clear expectations to the audience. With discovery also, you can have a slide wherein mentally you can prepare your prospect that now we're going to do a bit of a discovery, we're going to understand your world, and we are going to see that what kind of challenges you're facing in your landscape. So one slide would be for the landscape or for the discovery, wherein you can have some common questions to break the ice, because a lot of times I've seen the prospect doesn't open a lot when you start asking them questions. So you can lead by example as well, that these are the 3 challenges that we generally see a lot of CIOs are concerned about, and we have been solving this. You know that, right? What you have solved for that particular prospect in your industry. So try and lead by example, try and put in those questions, and then try and uncover more. Right? That is one thing that I would include always in my slide. A little bit of a company overview, what you do exactly, where you come from, what kind of product you have. So these kind of things build a bit of a trust or a credibility, because they also want to know that what we exactly do. Solution overview, not the complete solution, only the overview, that this is what we work on, this is the product portfolio that we have. So generally I have one slide wherein I explain all the products that we have for Freshworks in a single line, not more than that. One single line for all the products that you have. Within like 1 or 2 minutes you can just wrap this up. Spend a lot of time on the ROI and the impact story that you have. Now, this is your time wherein you can make the prospect realize that you can be on the other side of the table if you buy my solution. This is what we have been able to do with similar customers, right? So metrics-driven ROI, specific metric that they care about, impact that you're able to generate. So you should talk more about it, spend more time on it. And then comes your demo or a product workflow. If you have done enough discovery, you have enough points to present that demo, do that. If you don't have enough questions answered in the discovery, I recommend personally not to go into the demo stage, not to present a generic demo, right? So just make sure you have the matter with you, you have those discovery points ready with you, then only go and present the solution basis that. And then of course, one slide should be for next steps, wherein you can clearly outline the call to action for the prospect and for yourself. Always try and send the meeting notes or whatever summary of the meeting within 1 hour time. That's what I do. So within 1 hour, send that. If you're busy, you have back-to-back meetings, then also you'll find some time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and send it. Again, I'm not going too deep into this. I explained a lot of things about discovery in the previous stages. Okay, this is something that I already spoke about in the metric, the key business metric, the process challenges, navigating through the hierarchy, try and seeing that who are the decision makers, who can be of your purpose. So all those things I already explained. Now this is something that I just wanted to spend a minute on. These are the 4 things that generally you should be focusing on whenever you're doing a PPT demo or specific custom demo. Always bring your storytelling. Always bring the emphasis on what kind of benefits your customers are reaping out of your product. Always spend mini case studies. Do not spend a lot of time in terms of explaining it. Make many case studies of value propositions that you'll be able to deliver on specific customers. Try and relate it with real world problem. Try and see that, what improvement, what percentage improvement you brought to the table, what measurable results, what tangible value you brought to the table. And always be visual, always have a visual engagement. Keep your slides visually engaging. Avoid, loading your slides with graphics, concise text and UI and etc. Be as visually engaging as possible. Now, this is one bonus tip, one of the last slides, and then I'll take questions. Now, how to quantify pain? This is one thing that a lot of AEs face in today's time. They're not able to build urgency. They're not able to get a yes or no. If they get a yes, the customer keeps on dragging the deal month by month, quarter by quarter, and you're not able to build that urgency. To build that urgency, you should learn how to quantify the pain. You uncovered the pain, you discovered the pain, but you don't have a tangible value attached to that pain. You should try and do that. If I can take 1 minute, Shahjad, just to put up an example here.
Sure, sure.
One of the largest USR chain in India, I cannot name the customer's name, but you can imagine they sell burgers at a very large scale, a global company. So there we were running a pursuit wherein it was taking a lot of time. We got to their CIO, and then we started uncovering that pain. So they have around 300 restaurants all over India. Each and every restaurant generates 400 orders per day on average. So it's very easy when you get these numbers out. It's very easy for me to multiply, okay, these many orders they process in a day. Then you extrapolate it in terms of months, in terms of year. So this is the value of the business or the volume of the business that they generate. Now my product, basically what my products, what are the challenges my products solve? So my product is a service management tool. So any particular machinery, kiosk, digital payment tool, which is not working within that particular restaurant, my product's job is to get it reported to the right stakeholders and as soon as possible get it resolved. So I just gave them an example that, let's say, if your one restaurant is suffering from a kiosk disablement, the kiosk on which you order your burgers and etc. If that is not working for, let's say, 2 hours or 3 hours, so what kind of impact your business can have? Now just imagine only 10% of your restaurants are facing this particular problem. Then what kind of impact you can have on your business? And that's a light bulb moment for the customer, wherein they can realize, okay, if 2 hours per restaurant, if only 10% restaurant, which means 30 restaurant, which means 60 hours, how much of loss they can incur in terms of the orders that they're getting. So this is something that how you uncover the pain and then quantify the pain also, right? And that's how you build urgency, and that helps you closing the deal faster. So I can maybe answer questions. I think I'm over time. Thank you so much. You can connect me on LinkedIn. This is my LinkedIn URL. I can share it with all of you on the group as well.
Perfect.
Thank you so much. That was my time. Yeah, I'll welcome questions here, Shahjad. If
Yeah,
there
so
are any.
questions we will be taking, in the last 30 minutes. I hope people are taking their notes and questions and keeping it ready for the last. Otherwise, this will go forever and we'll not be able to cover everything. First of all, thank you so much, for the session, Ankit. Complete different perspective. That's the reason of bringing multiple guests. Everyone shares their experience and their way of doing it. And honestly speaking, this becomes completely priceless. You cannot bring people and leaders from 3 different industries and then, make them speak about their playbook. So thank you so much for being very unfiltered and going about it. We'll come back to you again in the Q&A, Ankit. And
just one point, Shahjad. This is my first time, addressing such an audience. Thank you so much for bringing me on the call. And I'm really apologetic of the hiccups that I might have done in the session. But yeah, bear with me. This is my first time. I'll improve with
No, thank you so much for accepting the request and coming on the call, Ankit. Yeah, thank you. Just stay on tune. We'll pull you up again in the Q&A. Let's get to our last guest, Arun If you're here, please say something so that I can pin you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Hi.
Yes, once again, I'm just searching you. Yes. Please go ahead, Arun. Over to you. Next 30 minutes.
Great. So see, Atul and Ankit have covered almost all the parts. I am little overwhelmed and slightly confused as well. Now what to present? Because see, these guys have covered almost all the process. But see, I have few things that I have prepared for you all. So let me just quickly share my screen and start the presentation.
Yeah, PPT had a lot of graphics as far as I remember.
That's the best I can do. I can make good PPTs.
By the way, guys, I'm part of some invite-only WhatsApp group in Nigeria, US, and other places. Your slides and all these things are getting, your screenshots are getting shared. People are liking it. So good job, kudos. Yeah, over to you, Arun.
Thanks. Great. So we all have gathered here. We want to become top AE, right? When I started my career, right, I used to also, like Ankit said, right, reach out to mentors, or like even Shahzad also has said, right? So catch up for coffees and all, right? So that is something that you do. Apart from that, what you can do, what you can expect from today's call is, I've already given you an overview of who am I. Post that we will discuss why people buy software, right? Or why people make a buying decision. Second is basically skills for success in discovery, how to become a trusted advisor status, right? So for as a sales guy, as a account executives, your role is to become that trusted advisor, I would say, in the sales process, so that customers come, prospects basically who turns to your customers, they keep on buying softwares or services from you, right? And then how do you do account research and schedule demos? Like Ankit shared, there is MEDIC, there is BAD, there is MEDPIC. There are a lot of sales methodologies. I try to keep my discovery very simple. So there is this concept that I follow, which is find, win, and keep, which we will specifically, I'll walk you through primarily what is this, and I'll share the template as well. And then Ankit also highlighted there is a percentage rule, right? So we call it as a 10% rule. And how do you nail a demo? Ankit and Atul has already shared, and then the mindset of an AE, right? So let's go. So why people buy, right? So like my peers Atul and Ankit said, right? Pain. So one is basically if people are in pain and if they want to get out of it, they buy, right? The second is fear, right? Between present and the future state, there is a fear, right? They see that there is some trouble or some issue that is going to affect them, and they want to avoid it. So that's why people buy. Not only, this is not the case with software, this is for any buying decision, right? Even if you're buying a course or if you're buying a software or whoever it is, right? So these are the three major reasons I feel, right? Then the third one is basically they visualize. So they visualize something great, or they want to specifically experience something that they have not experienced so far, right? So that's the three reasons I feel people buy. Now, when you are selling to enterprises, right? So what is the value hypothesis, which Ankit also showcased, right? How do you drive value? Is through research. One is basically through research. As an AE, it is your core responsibility to do value-based research. How do you do research? Is by going to the corporate website, seeing who are the top executives are, what products and services do that company sell, what are the different business units, who are your customers, right? And who are their partners, how do they sell, do they have a side channels? And also very important is also what kind of resources are they hiring, right? So this is from the corporate website materials that are there primarily on the website. Second is basically, it is highly important in today's time where startups are high valued, valuation are specifically outrageous, right? It is important to see certain financial reports. And in US, in multiple regions, there are 10K reports. In India, you have your balance sheets, your quarterly earning calls that are publicly available for listed companies. For unlisted companies, you can specifically see a lot of other information that are there online, press releases, investor statements. There are a lot of database providers as well, right? And then you have your basic questions that your software provides, right? Qualifying questions, how basically what business challenges, what are the key decision makers to reach, right? Then how is the relationship, how is the sponsor, who is the sponsor of the, so that is something that you, it is also important to understand basically a prospect and their business in basically 3 categories, right? So who are the players, what they care about, and what is their goals, right? When we talk about corporate growth strategy, what is their vision? Every company will have their own vision. Every CXO, every business unit, vice presidents will have a vision. And then there are ground troops, which we call the telecallers, or they are field sales guys who are going out in the field, the HR team, whichever functional areas that you're selling, they will have ground troops primarily who are specifically doing the core job. The idea is to primarily have this strategic execution plan, figure out basically tactical gaps, and also to understand basically what are the key productivity metrics, right? Improving forecasting, improving productivity, scaling the CSR team, right? So what is their vision and how are they going to do it, and what tools and technologies are they using, right? So that is how a general discovery specifically works. Now, how a successful AE, what are the basically discovery skills, right? So when we say sales skills is one thing, right? It is very important, like Ankit also shared, right? It is very important to specifically set up basically agenda of every call or conversation, agreements, right? Ankit also highlighted upon why it is important to have paperwork in place, right? And propose mutual agreement on an outcome. After the demo call, it has to be, you need to basically come on to a mutual agreement on what are you going to do next, right? So this is basically, these are some skills basically that an AE should have to ensure the discovery and the demo and the closure specifically happens very smoothly, right? Connect with process. So in enterprise sales, you are not only speaking to one prospect, you have to map multiple stakeholders, and also you have to identify your own champion, right? Which Ankit also mentioned, right? Identifying your champion in the buying process is actually a very important thing, and demonstrating that value to him first plays a very vital role. Very important quality which most of the salespeople miss is to be an active listener, right? Passive listening basically is a case where customer is saying and you are thinking about something else. तुम्हारे दिमाग में चल रहा है यार, इसको मैं कैसे बेचूं, इसको मैं कैसे बेचूं, इसको मैं क्या दिखाऊं, वो नहीं होता है. मतलब मेरे दिमाग में भी काफी बार ये आता था कि कस्टमर मेरे को प्रॉब्लम बोल रहा है, मैं देख रहा हूँ कि हाँ यार ये आ गया, इसको ये भी चाहिए, ये भी चाहिए, ये भी पेज शेप दूंगा, ये भी शेप दूंगा, तो मेरा ARR इतना बन जाएगा. मैं मेरे बैकएंड में मैं कैलकुलेशन कर रहा हूँ. So that is not a good skill, to be honest. Instead, be an active listener, have a helping mindset, listen to his problem. And this is a very important skill that we need the most in times to come and right now as well. Being honest and being interested in their business, right? So this is a very important quality which also more when you sell, right? A lot of buyer persona sees, right? क्या ये sales के बंदे को interest है मेरे business पे, right? Does he want to understand my business model? Is he honest, right, in the process? Is he building rapport, right? Is he asking open-ended questions, right? So I'll share that in the next slide as well, what open-ended questions are. So see, discovery is more about learning your customers' business problems. And it is also an opportunity to build that trust towards, as I said, right, the trusted advisor status for you to each prospects. Now let's deep dive into the whiteboard exercise. So whenever I get into a prospect call, basically, right, I don't jump onto a demo. I specifically have my way of specifically figuring it out on who in the organization is responsible for finding, winning, and keeping their customers growing, right? And growing their customers, right? So first of all, when you're doing discovery, do your discovery in a way where you are speaking to people, asking right open-ended questions, right? Ask them basically, walk me through how a customer finds you. कैसे मतलब कैसे आपके customers आपको find करते हैं? How do they buy from you, right? How do you service them, right? How specifically how are they expanding their business, right? So that is something that you have to specifically ask in the process side. And from technology side, you have to ask them certain questions like, in order to find, win, and keep and grow your customers, what tools and technologies are your functional teams using, right? So that is another specifically from technology point. And then every company has a vision, right? So सबको कहीं ना कहीं जाना है, तो वो जानो, right? So this is basically your, as a consultant, basically you will have to move closer towards your trusted advisor status, right? So this is not a pretty whiteboard to show, but it can be an effective way to specifically figure out. It's an example primarily for a manufacturing client, which let's say even Ankit has mentioned, right? Let's take an example of this burger company only, right? Which Ankit said. So you identify people, right? कौन से बंदों को बेचना है, right? कौन से टीम मेंबर्स है, यहाँ पे people को specifically, and ये लोग win कैसे करने के लिए क्या करते हैं? Internally pricing के लिए ये लोग प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर को या इंजीनियरिंग टीम को स्पेसिफिकली इन्वॉल्व करते हैं, राइट? प्राइसिंग के लिए या आरएफपी रिस्पॉन्स बनाने के लिए लोग एक प्राइसिंग मास्टर बनाते हैं, राइट? एंड देन टू रिटेन द कस्टमर्स, व्हाट डू दे डू? सो दे हैव अ इनसाइड सेल्स, आरएम्स, कस्टमर सक्सेस टीम, राइट? अलग अलग रीजन के, राइट? सो these basically are the three pillars primarily, right? So ये इससे आपका क्या होगा? इससे आपका एक अकाउंट में डिस्कवरी आपको पता चल जाएगा कि ये कस्टमर को ढूंढने के लिए लोग क्या कौन ढूंढते हैं, विन करने के लिए कौन सी टीम इन्वॉल्व होती है, और रिटेन करने के लिए कौन सी टीम रिस्पॉन्सिबल है, राइट? फ्रॉम प्रोसेस पर्सपेक्टिव से जब कस्टमर्स को ढूंढना है तो वो लोग क्या क्या करते हैं कि ये लोग सेल्स के बंदे हैं तो सेल्स के बंदे विजिट करते हैं, रेफर करते हैं, डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर को ऐड करते हैं, राइट? आरएफक्यूज में इन्वॉल्व होते हैं, सैंपल सबमिट करते हैं, ये इनका प्रोसेस है, राइट? Now in order to win that, right, what do? They specifically submit an proposal और PM को involve करते हैं, right? different specifically production manager को involve करते हैं, visit करवाते हैं, evaluation करते हैं, then उसके बाद क्या करते हैं? pricing डिफाइन करते हैं, राइट? सो प्राइसिंग डिफाइन करने का क्या प्रोसेस है, टेक्नोलॉजी वाइज ये लोग क्या यूज करते हैं, फ्रंट एंड क्या है, बैक एंड क्या है, कैसे विन करते हैं, कैसे ओवर साइनिंग कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स क्या यूज करते हैं, प्राइसिंग कैसे भेज रहे हैं, ईमेल पे ऑर्डर्स भेज रहे हैं तो साइनिंग कैसी होती है, राइट? ड्रॉप ऑफ, अभी कस्टमर्स को स्पेसिफिकली चर्न ऑफ कस्टमर्स है, उनको आप कैसे एंगेज करते हैं? तो ड्रॉप ऑफ रिपोर्ट आती है टेक्नोलॉजी टीम के थ्रू, उनको एंगेज करते हैं. So all this collates to obstacles. Now what are their current obstacles, right? Basically कि visibility नहीं आ रहा है, क्या disparate technology है, right? Response time weak है, number of resources क्या versus priority हम समझ नहीं पा रहे हैं, right? तो आपको basically क्या करना है? You have to specifically figure out basically in every account that you go, right? You have to specifically, I specifically follow this process. How do the customers find, how do your prospect find their customers, win and keep, keeping in line these people, process, technology challenges and obstacles to vision, right? This is mine. Now coming to 10% rule in the demos, right? So Ankit also highlighted that क्या value add specifically आप ला रहे हो, right? What is that financial decision that a VP of finance or specifically would make, right? क्या value add ला रहे हो आप टेबल पे, right? For example, हम सेल्स बंदों के 8 घंटे में से 10 घंटे बचा रहे हैं, right? अब 10 घंटे बचा के करेंगे क्या? आउटरीच ज्यादा करेंगे. Similarly, call center के reps could handle basically extra months case, right? या फिर marketers है, marketers can focus on generating more leads, right? Out of the time saved. So what you have to do is you have to specifically, there is another slide which I specifically wanted to show is basically this as well. So when you do your discovery, builds the business case, cost savings and all, right? So you present this value proposition where you specifically showcase what is the opportunity, what is the solution demo, right? Justify the financial, because you have to ensure, if let's say if you're asking someone for money, you have to provide an ROI justification, right? Well, why will that person give you an X amount until unless you don't specifically justify a value, right? What are the net benefits, right? Out of specifically. So that can be towards agent productivity, then a time saved, right? Can be specifically, this can be based on your product, right? If you're selling basically, yeah. How much minutes I have?
You have another 14 minutes. Please go on.
Okay. So that's how basically is, right? So selling value, being a trusted advisor specifically makes a very vital role, wherein you specifically discuss customer success stories, your pricing, your roadmap, and as I said, right, next steps, joint plan, which Ankit has also highlighted upon, right? So apart from that, during building that business case, right, you need to ensure basically you're taking the data points on their revenue uplift, right? How much you can do, right? What are the cost savings? What are their current IT legacy cost, right? Why you now, specifically concept कि basically अगर आप अभी innovate नहीं करोगे तो क्या loss है? Competitors का डर दिखाओ, right? So these are all specifically competitor ने ये implement करने के बाद ये यहाँ पहुँच गए customer success stories के पास, right? That's why they are scaling. They are able to scale their customers better, right? That's a quick overview. Now, how to nail a demo? I think this is a topic which Ankit and Atul has already covered, but I'll just add one thing is one very important is basically you need to add little humor and fun to work. Yeah, that's very important. Yeah, the person you are selling is also a human being. Don't make it too serious. So थोड़ा सा fun karo, personal life jano, right? Connect with them personally also, right? People love talking to a human, not a robot, right? And with the advent of AI, आजकल तो AI भी personalized questions पूछने लग गया है, to be honest, and it's so it's very important that you add your flavor. Every person adds their own flavor. I might be adding some little flavor. Shehzad specifically adds a different flavor. So you have to identify how can I add my flavor into a demo, right? Which makes the customer remembers, right? कि यार ये बंदे ने आके मेरे को demo दिया था, बढ़िया बंदा था, demo अच्छा गया था यार इसका. So that is one thing I want to highlight basically. And another important is generally what happens in large complex sales cycle is we align a demo engineer and we do a custom demo. So right, so I suggest basically if you have an extended team primarily who is doing demos, right, ensure that you are doing a dry run before at least 3 working days before the client demo, right? For example, आपको आपकी डेमो थर्सडे को है तो मंडे को आप अपनी टीम से डेमो देख लो कि क्या हम प्रेजेंट करने वाले, एक ड्राई रन कर लो ताकि तुम फीडबैक दे सकते हो अपने प्री सेल्स टीम को and they can work on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday you are ready, right? And doing that presentation and drive the demo persona based rather than feature based. Features hai aapke products ke well and good. How will that features result to that persona, right? For example, if your buyer persona is a sales rep, right? So you have to tell basically how specifically these features of your product will help them to reach out to more customers, increase the pipeline, right? So वो आपको दिखाना पड़ेगा करके, demo करके. And presentations, these are the times where buyer personas or CXOs are not interested in looking at PPTs. They want to see demo, right? And with the advent of AI, creating a demo using vibe coding tools also have become very easy, right? So product companies also like us has to innovate faster in specifically building that demo assets as well. Minimize PPT, show value in a demo. Else, if you're not able to show value, don't schedule a demo. Okay, as is versus future state आपको दिखाना बहुत जरूरी है. Post the demo, share a customer success story. Generally, अगर आप देखोगे in field sales also, let's say if you have any door-to-door sales guy coming up and selling something to you. So I remember back in time when I was a child, there was a sales guy who came to our house and who sold an encyclopedia. कुछ 20-25 हजार रुपए का एक पूरा encyclopedia था. मेरी मम्मी ने खरीद ली थी. मैं तो पढ़ता नहीं था. तो वो कैसे खरीदी थी मैं बताता हूँ कि वो सेल्स वाले बंदे ने बोला कि आपके फ्लोर में इन्होंने जिनके पास आपकी उम्र का बच्चा है उन्होंने लिया है एंड उन्होंने मेरे से 2-3 महीने पहले लिया है या इन्होंने लिया है. तो मम्मी को भी लगा यार बेसिकली उन्होंने लिया तो फिर हमें भी लेना चाहिए, मेरा बच्चा पीछे चला जाएगा. So this is very important. It's a very funny story, but it's very important even in selling software as well. So when you tell your buyer persona, even if you're selling to a CFO, CEO or whatever, right? आपने बोल दिया कि अब जैसे KFC, अब KFC को बोल दिया तुमने कि ये मैकडॉनल्ड्स ने ये किया है, तो ऑब्वियसली KFC तो जानेगा ना कि यार मैकडॉनल्ड्स क्या कर रहा है अलग से. So that is very important. And like Ankit also suggested, right? Get your product or your solution, your demo validated from your champion. It's very important. Now, how to build a mindset of an AE? So you have to understand enterprise sales is not a marathon, right? You're not selling a course which can be closed at 2 weeks or something, right? एक हफ्ते में 2 हफ्ते में कुछ close हो गया. ऐसा नहीं है. सेल्स साइकिल थोड़ा सा लंबा है. 3-4 महीने लगते हैं, कम से कम 9 महीने लगते हैं. अंकित को पूछो, अंकित तो शायद से 1 साल भी लगा होगा कोई अकाउंट्स में बेचने के लिए. तो हम it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. So you have to specifically follow up. You have to stay disciplined in your sales process, follow a process. You need to track all your numbers, which is your calls, your emails, your field visits, demos, proposal sends, closures, why you lost the deal. And also, this is a major thing that I have seen most of salespeople are missing as well. Dress well and focus on your personal hygiene. Nails cut karo, ठीक है? Haircut regular karo, then shave karo. Gray hairs आए तो दिखाओ, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. It's okay to show vulnerability as well, right? And communicate well. And also very important thing to remember, AE is not an IC role. हम मेरे को बोलते हैं लोग कि है ना, काफी लोग बोलते हैं कि IC role है. IC role नहीं है. You have to work in collaboration. In SaaS, you have to work with pre-sales. You have to work with the most importantly, your reporting manager. राइट? कैसे हो गया IC रोल? मतलब तुम्हें रिपोर्टिंग मैनेजर को तुम्हें नंबर्स देने पड़ते हैं. आधे योर सक्सेस इज डिटरमाइंड बाय हाउ गुड योर रिपोर्टिंग मैनेजर इज सपोर्टिंग यू. दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. कस्टमर सक्सेस टीम, राइट? सो आई डू नॉट थिंक दैट इट्स एन IC रोल. So and lastly but not the least, always be closing, read books, learn from peers like us. We are connected, join a community like what Shehzad has built. Learn from each other, share knowledge freely, and yeah, that's it. I think apart from that, I think kuch hai nahi. I think yeah, last slide is basically yeah, let's do better discovery, better demos, be a trusted advisor, mint money, right? You can connect with me on my WhatsApp, and also you can scan this to connect with me on LinkedIn as well. Over to you, Shehzad. I think
perfect, Arun. As I said to Ankit and Atul also, a complete different perspective, a new flavor, from your side, and that's the beauty of doing this. And again, I would like to tell that it takes big heart guys to come onto a platform and share what they do. Honestly speaking, out of 90, 100 people whichever join, 50 of them will not tell it out loud because they'll be like, if I tell, I might, why should I tell my success stories to others? It takes big heart and mind to come out on a platform and give it all to the entire platform. So, thank you so much, Arun, Atul, and Ankit. Yeah, so before we move on to the live session, quick things. First of all, I'll just unpin myself also. 1 second. Yeah. First of all, get your hairs right, everything. Let's take a picture once. Switch on the cameras, guys. सच्ची में लोग बाल बना रहे हैं क्या? Okay, ठीक है. Fine. So I'll count till 5 and then I'll take a picture. Okay, fine. So I am clicking a selfie, guys, and this will be going live on LinkedIn. So I hope all the cameras are on. I'll wait for another 3 seconds. Yeah, just clicking it. Give me a minute. One second. Fine, this is done. Next thing before we move on, if any one of you is not part of the community, I have shared the community link in the group, because this is where all you get all the updates of which sessions are happening, who are the guests, what and all we are doing. So if you're not part of it, join it. If you already are part of group 1, please don't join group 2. You will get spam. You'll get 3 messages, 2 messages. So be in one group. Just ऐसा मैं कुछ अलग सा secret नहीं डालूंगा किसी का दूसरे group में. Yeah? It'll be mutually shared. So be in one group. This is one. Second thing, yes. So see, guest has given us a lot of insight. I always tell people, learn to take and also give back. Whatever, I'll share the picture, I'll share my post also. Repost it. Make your own post about what did you learn, what did you like. Let's cheer up our guest also. Let us tell the world, who are helping us and all those things, because don't learn to suck things from people. Learn to also give back to the society. That's how we do. That's how community builds. Now, you can go and follow all the guests on LinkedIn. So this is Ankit Singh, with 12+ years of experience. This is his LinkedIn ID. After the session, please, search them, connect with them, follow them, learn from them. Then it is Atul Singh, founder Margin Sales. Follow him, connect with him, stay updated. And then, Arjun is here from Cloud Analogy. So, follow him. And this is me, Shahzad Khan, your community leader. And, who make sure that I align people to, make sure that we learn from each other. Small little thing. I'm not a TA. I'm also director of sales. I have a team, $1 million of quota to carry. I post jobs. I don't know people reach out to me. I just see whether it is genuine or not and then forward it. Kindly don't mind, but don't reach out to me कि भाई यहाँ पे बात करवा दो, वहाँ पे बात करवा दो. I don't know that person. जहाँ से मेरे को आ रहा है. ठीक है. My job is to just provide the opportunities. Rest is up to you guys to how do you grab it. As of now, we post somewhere around 60 to 70 jobs every month. There are certain jobs which doesn't even go in public, and the hiring gets over, inside the community and WhatsApp. So make the best use of it. Last thing, if you're using this group, being selective कि मैं इसको 10 दिन archive में रखूंगा and then I'll come back. फिर मैं 5 दिन इसको mute कर दूंगा, then I'll come back. That's not how the community is gonna run. There will be some spam, there will be some kind of noise. You will have to bear with it. Otherwise, you lose certain information. I'll tell you how. A lot of you guys ping me कि भाई link भेज दो. I have posted thrice in the group, that we are conducting this session. So probably either you have archived it or you don't. दिन में 10 minute दे दो at least for the community. There are a lot of very good information which goes through. Now I cannot make it completely spam free or conversation free. Yeah. So that's pretty much it, guys. Yes, and after the session, show love towards the community and towards our guests by reposting, posting, and sharing what you have learned. So we'll start off with the Q&A session, guys. Very simple. Don't give context. Don't give your stories. Don't give anything. Simple. What is the problem and what is the question? मैं यहाँ से आ रहा हूँ, मैं ये करता हूँ, मेरे जोड़ों में दर्द है, मेरे इधर ये सब नहीं चाहिए. Simple, straightforward. Ask what is the question, and to the guest, again, same thing to you. Straight away, just answer the question. Yeah, like A is the problem, A is the solution. B is the problem, B is the solution. Yeah, so that we are able to address maximum people here. And please raise hands. Yes, Nasir.
Hello. My question is to Atul. You mentioned that in the demo, 10 to 12 minutes are for the discovery. A lot of importance is given how good the discovery should be. But is 10 minutes enough, or we should have a pre-discovery session before the demo? What do you suggest?
That's a good question, Nasir, and it totally depends. The framework of 30 minutes, out of that, if you spend 1/3 knowing that, should help you. And if you're well prepared before the call, definitely Ankit laid out what to include in your demo call, and Arun laid out how and why. So if we follow that, that should be enough.
Okay, thanks, Atul.
Perfect. Arijit.
Hi. My question is to Ankit. Ankit, you mentioned that while we are initiating the conversation, right, we need to find a decision maker. So a lot of the time it happened with me. I had my champion. I reached out to the decision maker, and the champion's ego gets screwed. They feel insecure. They feel like that he's not able to drive it, and I'm taking his kind of thing to the decision maker. How to handle the kind of situation? I mean, to keep everything stabilized.
Very good question, Arjit. So how I do it, I'll tell you. So a lot of times, if I understand that the champion's ego can come in between, if I directly reach out to the CEO and have an access to the CIO, that's where team collaboration kicks in. You're not the lone warrior in your organization, right? Who's chasing the numbers. If you're doing the numbers, your manager or reporting manager is also getting credited for that, right? If you're not able to reach out to the CIO or the CEO, ask your reporting manager to dial the call to him. In that case, you're not the culprit. Your reporting manager reaches out to him. He can get a point of view that where that particular person is coming from, or whether that particular CEO, CIO is looking your product to, right? So that is the best way possible. How I do it in Freshworks, there's a very open culture. My India MD can get on a call to a CIO just by slacking him. So that is a privilege that I have. But yeah, your reporting manager should be involved in all the enterprise deals that you're doing. I'm not saying that if you're running a $5,000, $10,000 opportunity, every time you should ping your reporting manager to talk to the CIO. But yeah, especially on the substantial opportunities, you can do that. This is a very good approach that I follow.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much.
This is ninja level shit. Yeah, yes. Next, Shubham.
Yes. So my question is to any three of the panel values.
No, that's not how it works. Shubham, you have to ask which case you're asking this question to.
So after demo, they are actually after the demo sharing the pricing and all that. They are ghosting. They are not picking up the calls. So what to do in that case?
Whom are you asking? You have to.
Any of the panel members can.
ऐसे नहीं होगा, फिर वो तीनों बोलने लग जाएंगे. Ask whom do you want?
To let's say Ankit.
Ankit, please.
Okay. So sorry, I didn't get your name.
Shubham.
Who's this? Shubham, right? So Shubham, let me put it like this. So let's say if a particular prospect is started ghosting you after getting you after you shared the price, so it's very evident, that they might not be serious at this point in time. Second, your discovery didn't well. You didn't found the enough challenges to engage. One tip that I would like to give you: be reserved in terms of sharing your actual price over an email. Your website has the price already.
Yes.
I hope your product website has its price mentioned over there.
Yes.
Right? Just walk through that particular price to your prospect. Sharing price at the prima facie of the discussion is a very dangerous situation. Do not share the price unless you have justified yourself as a trusted advisor, as Arun said, and you are in control of the situation of the particular pursuit. If you're sharing the prices just after demo, like a general thing that everyone does, it's not going to work. So try and hold your horses. Try and see what is the right time to share exact prices. If they want an idea, they want a budgetary estimate, you can just ask them to take a look at your website and get an idea that what budgets they require to purchase your product.
Shehzad and Ankit and everyone with permission, Shubham and Ankit, this also happens with fear and value perception. So when someone fears, say, if I select this product, what my boss will say, whether I made a bad decision or not, whether I spent too much on this product or not, is there something cheaper with this? Or when they find there is a gap in the pricing, or they have this value perception difference, they'll always ghost. The best is what Ankit said and what Arun said in the beginning. Make sure that you cover all these points in your demo well before you mention the pricing. And that's all that I believe.
Thank you so much, Atul. Thank you so much, Ankit.
Perfect. Mayank.
So my question is to Atul. So you have mentioned about all the discovery expert try to ask relevant questions, but most of the objections I got it like if I've asked a C-level managers or a manager level person to join for a call, he simply while opening a meeting he simply asks, you have asked, show me what you have first. So in this scenario, I got 30-40% of the kind of objections. So how do you handle that kind of questions?
That's a good thing. So what they really mean is they're saying that, let me think about it. It's too expensive. I'm not ready yet. Send me more information. These are all negative answers. Whether they wrap it around some positive conversation or not is the matter of how they kind of convey it to you. But these are all negative conversations. Everyone in the group here, I would like to tell one thing. Sales, being you working as alone or working with a team, it's about removing the fear and increasing the greed. डर को कम करते रहो, लालच को बढ़ाते रहो. जब आप ये करते रहोगे और ये सीखते रहोगे तो आपके सारे आंसर्स ऐसे इरेडिकेट होते जाएंगे.
So Atul, one more thing, like while starting with the meeting with the client over a demo, like while asking the probing question, the client also asks like, show me the demo first, then I reveal my questions.
Okay, that's a very typical situation. जहाँ पे हमने जब कॉल शुरू की है, we were not able to bring that value that gets respect from the client or prospect. If they will respect and they understand what you're showing in the initial first few minutes, and if that's making sense, they will follow the pattern of your demo. So जो actual demo का best process होता है, उसमें when you start, the prospect sticks to what you're saying. So rather than jumping on the demo, they would listen to you. And if they are jumping on demo, respect that first. उनको demo दे दो, but try to understand कि उसने ऐसा क्यों किया. Reason to find out will help you kind of navigate further. जैसे अभी कुछ देर पहले बोल रहे थे कि if you're speaking to our CEO, हम उनको अगर ignore करके direct reach out करें कि नहीं. Guys, अगर आप अपने CEO, अपने seniors को, अपने managers को loop में नहीं ले पा रहे हो, तो आप कैसे एक company को loop में ले पाओगे? So your sales starts with your boss, your sales starts with your junior, your sales starts with your senior. अपनी team को साथ में जब आप लेके चल रहे होते हैं ना, you get a lot of support. That will be my 2 cents.
Thank you, Atul. Thank you so much.
Perfect. I am so sorry I'm not able to say your name. Santhwana, please.
Hi, Shahjad, thanks. So my question is to Ankit or Arun. I have 2 questions. First, I want to understand if you're in inside sales, how do you build a champion? Like in field sales, like you do the meetups, you do the face-to-face, but in inside sales, how do you build a champion like right from the beginning?
Arun, you want to take that up or should I answer it?
Yeah, I think I can take it up, and I think you can add if there is anything. So Santhwana, so you are in inside sales, and in your sales process, you want to identify a champion. Is that correct? Is my understanding
Yeah,
correct?
how do I build a champion? Yeah.
Yeah, so in cases where you're selling online, right? There are cases where you connect with your prospects online. So these days, primarily, if you're selling customers online, I think I'm assuming they are connected on LinkedIn, they are connected on specifically multiple platforms, right? So try to follow them on LinkedIn, do a social selling sort of endorse them on LinkedIn if possible, right? Then try to get on a call with them on frequent basis, right? Ask specifically, see, it's building a champion primarily is someone identify what is basically that champion's roles, responsibilities, and core KPIs, which will help him success, right? So let's say you are selling a product to that particular champion, and identifying the champion is very important. Why? Because your champion is your product user. So really